Most of my clients were perfectly fine the day before they got into the accident. And these accidents, they can be life-changing. And I think actually, in our experience, that to some degree or another, almost life is turned upside down. Even the little fender benders, they tend to be life-changing because different stuff happens to the client that they've never, ever experienced before. They're thrust into a world that they don't know, that they don't understand, that is completely foreign and is completely upside down to everything that they held to be true. When you talk to me, I'm real. And I believe in this stuff. I believe in my clients. I believe in this. This is my cause. This is my life's mission. This is my passion.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Do you have a hot new business or an established business that offers great and unique services or products that you want to get the word out? Are you looking to grow your business and you want everyone to hear the buzz about it? Do you have an amazing project or an idea that impacts our community that you want to share and get others involved in? Then you've come to the right place. You're listening to Community Connections with Norma G. I'm your host, occupational therapist Norma Guerrero, and I want to share our passions while connecting with our community. So now let's get ready to hear about what's hot, what's new, and what's happening on Community Connections with Norma G. Give us a call at 888-565-1470 and join our conversation. Welcome back to Community Connections with Norma G, and I am your host, Norma Guerrero. And today is Monday, January 29th. It is the last Monday of January, and I'm so happy to be here with all of you again. And I'm super excited for our show today. We have some great guests lined up for you. We have an orthopedic spinal surgeon, Dr. Fernio, with Florida Back Institute, which is a doctor's office here locally in Boca Raton on the Boca del Rey line over there in Palm Beach. And so we're looking forward to him coming on and talking about herniated disc, spinal stenosis, laminectomy, compression fractures, and the procedures that he can do that are minimally invasive and or surgical and or as well conservative approaches to helping you with your back pain. So looking forward to delving into the clinical areas of the spine this afternoon for you. You're listening to us on live on 95.3 FM, 1470 AM, as well as we are live streaming on Community Connections with Norma G on Facebook. You can also find us on YouTube and Periscope, and you can find us on Instagram and Twitter, and you can call into the show and ask our guests for any questions as well at 888-565-1470. Our second guest today is also David Eltringham. You may have heard him on the show previously. He is a personal injury attorney here at Eltringham Law Group, located as well here is in Boca Raton as well. And coincidentally, these two gentlemen know each other through a personal experience with a family member of David's. And so we're going to really hear an interesting experience that me meeting them completely separately through the show and then finding out that they knew each other where the doctor was able to assist David with one of his family members. So super excited to hear about that experience and how he helped the elderly. So I want to take a moment at first to thank our sponsors of the show. Of course, the Encore at Boca Raton, formerly known as Whitehall Boca Raton, and they are located at 7300 Del Prado Circle South in Boca Raton, Florida at 33433, and they can be reached at 561-392-3000 or at www.theencoreboca.com, as you can see on your screen right there. And the Encore Boca Raton is a rehabilitation and nursing center, and they offer physical therapy, occupational, speech therapy, and skilled nursing services post-injury or illness, about at the hospital for pneumonia, for a stroke, a heart attack, and as well as hip and knee replacements. And as our guest today, Dr. Fernio, many times people have spinal surgeries there where they can't return home immediately. They need to go through a course of inpatient rehabilitation in order to learn how to walk again, learn how to dress themselves and get on and off the commode and take care of those daily activities so they can resume back to their life. And so it's a great facility that offers those services, so we want to thank them for their support as well, and also want to thank our other sponsors of the show as well, where we have Eltringham Law, we have the Brinker Education Initiative, we have Sonrisa's Dental Clinic, Jane L. Robinson, My Medicare Supplements for You, and Mobile Portrait Pose. Mobile Portrait Pros. And all of these are a variety of sponsors that have come on board with the show. They've been interviewed various times, and we have them scheduled out again in February. You can go to my website at www.ccnormag.com. You can see it there on the screen, the variety of sponsors of the show. And if you go to the sponsor page, you can click on it, and you click on their link, and it'll take you right to their website. And so I make that easy for you, so that way you can find out a little bit more about them if you ever hear me talking about them. So with that said, I also just want to say one more thing, is that there is a local event that is happening coming up on March 10th, 2018 at the Meisner Amphitheater in Boca Raton, the CBS 12 Health and Wellness Experience. And this is an event that is open and free to the public. There's several thousand people that attend this event, and it's a health and wellness expo. And so a lot of local vendors will be there sharing about their businesses, and a lot of tips about health and wellness and cooking classes, and it's open for all ages. You can learn a lot of healthier lifestyle choices. And the good thing about this is that if you do own a business, or if you know someone who does, it's a great sponsorship opportunity. So I want to share the contact information, that if you are interested in the CBS 12 Health and Wellness Experience, you can contact Erica Obando at 561-681-3438 at EOBANDO at SBGTV.com. Again, that's Erica Obando, 561-681-3438. EOBANDO at SBGTV.com. And if you go to the events page on my website as well, you can find that link there too, to reach out to her. And so without any further ado, let me go ahead and introduce Dr. Jeffrey Fernio. He is a medical doctor, like I said, at the Florida Back Institute, and he specializes in minimally invasive spine surgeries, and his expertise is in osteoporotic compression fractures, spinal stenosis, and herniated disc. And so, Dr. Fernio, it's been a long time coming, but I'm so happy to have you here finally in the studio.
Well, thank you. It's my pleasure to come and share some ideas with your audience.
Yes, I'm so happy that you're here, because as you know, we met on the Dr. Fernio, is that
yes,
Fernio? Fernio, we met for me personally as well. A couple years ago, I had a little twinge in my back, and you helped me out then. And then this past November, I had another little twinge, and I'd done some conservative things myself, and I said, I need to come see you. And we had a discussion about, my needs and what I needed for my back. But you also asked me a very nice question, is you said, how are you doing in terms of just in general, I think you were like, how's work, how's everything going? And I told you about the radio show, and so I extended the invitation for you to come on the show, and so I'm super excited. You gave me a facet injection in my lower back.
Yes.
And, not just saying it, but usually it takes a couple series. I never came back after the first injection, and I had 3 months of pain.
Wow. So we really do try to find the target of the pain, the actual pain generator. And if we can identify that, that's one of the main goals initially when we see a patient. And then we can really plan a successful treatment. But the first step is actually identifying what exactly is causing the pain.
And it's interesting, because I am not a proponent of needing pain medication a lot. It depends on the certain type of pain. I know a lot of people tend to get addicted to these things, but sometimes in my body, I can tell where pain relief is going to help or not help. It'll mask it for a half hour or reduce it for a little bit, but it's not going to solve the root of the problem. And I was super surprised at how that injection, where did the injection go exactly?
Well, right into one of the joints in the back of the spine that even at a younger age like you can become inflamed and kind of arthritic and flared up. And if we can identify by examining the patient and listening to the history and what activities they're involved in, then we can oftentimes, upon reviewing some studies, see where that pain generator is. Instead of just hitting with pain medications and generically and trying to dampen the whole pain response in the body, which causes sedation and other side effects that people don't really like.
And I remember asking you the question when we spoke afterward, I was surprised that the medication that you injected, that the pain didn't come back. That I was surprised that it didn't just wear off.
Well, that's what a lot of people are afraid of with injections. They think, oh, I don't want a temporary relief. I don't want just a shot. I want a more permanent solution. And what they don't realize, I try to explain to them, is when you break the cycle, it's somewhat like the analogy of a shoulder injection. When you go and get a shoulder bursa injection or something from a general orthopedist or a rheumatology or a regular internal medicine doctor, the anatomy of the shoulder hasn't changed at all. You're just quieting that inflammation down such that it gets back to its initial state before you had the injury or the swelling and the bursitis or whatever's causing the pain. So in this case, we do the same thing in the spine.
And I was very fortunate in that respect, where I was able to kind of, you know, you were able to get it in the first shot. You know, I was just pleasantly surprised, and I've been very happy that I regained my rotation that was so limited for so many weeks, thinking that it would just eventually resolve itself. Now, I want to thank you again for helping me. I really do appreciate it.
Pleasure, really.
So we're going to talk about a few different conditions here, and so one of the conditions that I want to talk about is the herniated disc, and the herniated disc is. Can you just break down a little bit about the different the anatomy of the spine?
Well, the disc is the soft tissue, formed mostly of cartilage, in between the vertebral bony bodies, the bone pieces of the spine, and holds them together. It's actually the primary stabilizer of the spine to allow motion, but under control, protecting the nerve elements, all the nerves and the
It's like the
spinal
shock
canal.
absorbers, isn't it?
Yeah, shock absorber, but it holds those vertebral bodies in their place so they don't slip or tear. And sometimes with degeneration or an injury and just wear and tear, they can break down to the point the outer part of the disc, which there's two parts, one the inner part, and then there's the outer ring. And once the outer ring gets a tear, which can be either degenerative with age or by genetic predisposition, or an injury, it causes a tear, and then the central part can squeeze out. People use the analogy of like a jelly donut, squeezes out, and then if it presses on the nerve or gets close to the nerve, it can cause a real inflammatory reaction.
So how do you help it?
Usually, fortunately, herniated discs usually quiet down. They do quiet down, and probably 90 to 95% of them in long-term studies have been shown not to need an operation. So we usually, and what has been shown to be very effective, if they don't get better with just normal anti-inflammatories, rest, is to do epidural shots, typically. And that's for herniated disc or spinal stenosis pain, and that quiets all the inflammation around that nerve. So again, it breaks the cycle, and then the swelling can go down a little bit, the inflammation quiets down, and the pain usually resolves. Once you break that cycle, then it can usually quiet down, and the patient could get back, or the person get back to slowly back to the regular activities.
Sure, interesting. Okay, so
it's not always needing to jump into an operation.
To an operation, okay. Right. And so the next question that I see a lot of when I treat patients in the rehabilitation facility is that I see a lot of stenosis. And can you share with me exactly what lumbar cervical stenosis is? Because that's typically where we hear and see it.
Yes, lumbar stenosis is a narrowing. I think it's Latin for tight narrowing of the spinal canal from arthritic joints, the facet joints we mentioned earlier. Those become arthritic, the disc wears out and bulges, typically bulges and bone spurs form at the edge of the disc where a joint holds these bones together, and the whole canal where all the nerves run down from through your neck or through your low back, even through your thoracic area, get pinched on, and such to the point where since these nerves go to the legs, typically if we're talking about low back, the legs get numb, heaviness, weakness, inability to walk, and it's typically in older people. But young people can be born with stenosis and then have a small amount of arthritis or disc bulge on top of it, which makes it clinically significant and painful.
Sure.
It's mostly an elderly condition of arthritis of the spine, basically.
And so at what point do you get yourself involved in, you mentioned that you conservatively can treat it with the epidurals to try and calm the pain down and the symptoms that people have of the pain. At what point do you have to then lean towards the patient's needing surgery? Like, what do you see? Is it that you see something clinically on MRI, on a CT scan, or more you're listening to them talk about numbness, tingling, or weakness?
Well, it really is a combination of both, because that's why patients come in and say, what does the MRI show? Well, it's not just what the MRI shows, or the CAT scan. It's
the symptoms.
Yes, it's gathering all the symptoms they have, the limitations, what their age is. Some people are living almost in a wheelchair anyway. They're barely moving around, they're in a walker. They don't need much mobility, right, or they don't need a lot of strength.
So what is a laminectomy?
Others have more limitations, and they're younger even. They want to get back to their active lifestyle. Those need a wide open spinal canal. So laminectomy means removing the lamina, which is the roof of the spinal canal, that bony channel that contains all the nerves traveling to the spine. So we have to see how many levels it would be. That's another consideration, is what's the nature of their stenosis. Is it one level or is it 5 levels? Because one level we'd have very little little hesitation in saying just do a quick 45-minute operation, be open and stay open for
I
years.
see.
But if it's 5 levels, you might say, let's wait, do a lot of shots, therapy to try to keep your mobility and strength, try to keep the strength even if there's pressure on the nerves, and extend out that time before an operation would be in their best interest. Really.
Sure. And, you know, I see a lot of success with people that do receive these surgeries because I'll say to them, because I'll meet them 5 to 10 days post-operation, post-op,
Yeah.
and I'll say, how's your pain as compared to before? Because I didn't know them from before. And they'll go, oh, I have pain, but it's surgical. It's
Right, right.
not that whatever cramping that was, because you've relieved.
It is a cramping, yes.
Yeah, you've
Kinda like-
relieved the pressure.
It's a shortage of blood flow really getting into the nerve roots that causes that pain. So it's somewhat like angina, like cardiac or chest
Yes,
pain,
yes.
that they're not getting enough blood flow into those nerves. They feel a cramping down the legs when they walk, and the nerve has to allow more blood flow to come in, and it can't come in because the stenosis is too tight. So again, we have to weigh how many levels it would be, how tight it is, what their physical constraints are, what their medical condition is, what kind of operation they can handle. And then usually it would just be a laminectomy, but there may be an element of instability too. You know, slippage is a common thing, particularly in women more than men, and that pretty much always requires a fusion to do well.
And then when you do a fusion, do you have to use screws and all that stuff?
Almost always. You know, people don't like to hear about hardware and implants, but it gives much better result almost always.
Sure.
Even if the bones are soft and they've been told no because the bones are too soft, the hardware holds it, and that's almost the best indication, to hold it rigid, put bone graft in, and we can do all that now with a very minimal operation. In fact, I just threw out a statistic that people would be shocked at, but in national studies, the 80-year-old people, in their 80s, that has a minimally invasive inner body fusion goes home in less than 2 days.
Wow.
To home, 1.9 days.
And what's an inner body fusion?
It's this minimally invasive fusion we do through essentially a tube, you know, that indirectly decompresses the spinal canal. If there's slippage, we can just line up the bones by pulling back into position, put a spacer in there, and then back it up with screws, again through small tubes. And there's almost no blood loss. And they can be some people even do it outpatient, but we always hospitalize them for at least a day.
That's what I want to talk to you about most, because when reading your bio, you received your medical degree from the University of Washington, and you went to a school of medicine in Oxford, England as well.
I did during medical school, yes.
And you've been practicing for how many years now, Dr. Fernio?
I try not to add that up. It's like 29 years in Boca Raton.
Right, in Boca Raton. So you've been
yes.
here a long time in this community.
Yes, we founded the Florida Back Institute. Actually, my partner at the time, Dr. Jordan Davis, was a neurosurgeon who did only spine surgery. So he looked for somebody in the instrumentation field, which was an exploding field at that time, 30 years ago or so, and he didn't want to have to retrain himself to understand instrumentation. So he hired me, and we joined up and had only in the whole country, the only neuro, ortho, spine specialty center at that time.
Oh, excellent.
And now I have another Dr. Lowen, an orthopedic surgeon. We've changed over the years, and Dr. Davis retired a number of years ago. But that's what we do now.
Where's your practice located?
It's on the northwest corner of Clintmore and Military. It's a large physician's building, physician service building. And,
the address?
And we're in there. 1905 Clintmore Road, Suite 309.
And the number?
Phone number?
Yeah.
561-988-8988.
And do you have a website as well?
We do. Florida Back Institute, or you can think FBI. Florida Back Institute or FloridaBack.
Oh, that's what FBI means.
Yeah.
Someone made a comment on one of the thing. I didn't know what it meant. It said something like "Go FBI."
Exactly. We can wear FBI hats.
Oh,
and everything.
I like it. That's pretty cool. That's fun little branding. So when I was reading your bio, it says that we were talking about some, going for the surgery, the fusion, the laminectomy, that type of thing. But your specialty is in this non-operative and minimally invasive approaches to all spine operations. And then it also said that you did, what was it, talking about, about the surgical techniques and the instrumentation that you patented?
I have issued a patent, several years ago on a biologic substitute for the cement that we use now to glue together compression fractures.
And so let's talk about that. And so a compression fracture is what exactly?
Compression fractures, usually an elderly person, they're almost the type I'm talking about here, basically fragility fractures, we term them, because the bone is not strong enough to deal with or stabilize the spine if a person has a fall. And a normal injury that most people would, like us, would just get up and walk away. a person in this age group or with this osteoporosis soft bone condition could just be bending over to change the sheets on their bed or twist wrong, and they have a severe onset of pain. And that's why I wanted to really mention to people here is that we see a lot of missed fractures from suffering people for weeks or months that have been seen by their doctor, or they've gone to the emergency room or one of these walk-in centers, and they get an X-ray taken, and they're told, oh, the X-ray is negative, and they have severe pain. And one message, if I could leave one message here, is if you have a fall like that, you're elderly or have osteoporosis, or your mother's that way, it's typically in women because they tend to have osteoporosis, and you have severe pain, it's not better like a sprain strain in literally days, then you probably have a fracture. You really need an MRI. You have to go back to your doctor, insist on that the pain is severe, and you get an MRI, and that shows it. And
then the procedure to help a compression fracture is what exactly?
It's called, we use a kyphoplasty procedure, which involves putting a balloon in through a small needle, and it lifts that fracture back up, so it straightens out the alignment, and that's what's most important for long-term pain relief. The fractures tend to heal on their own, which is a little bit difficult to understand, because if you say they're going to heal, why would you do the procedure? But the procedures, it's 10 minutes, almost to the minute, involves minimal sedation with Valium or no sedation, just local anesthetic. It's much like filling a tooth.
In your office?
In our office.
And you can do it in your office. That's incredible.
We've done, 5,000 in our office now in the past 10 years. Since I've been doing it before Medicare even approved it, I did this procedure.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I can attest to what you're saying is because I have treated many, many patients that come in, they fell, they had a compression fracture, sometimes it's a T9, T12, something like that. And the patient says they had, all there is you'll look at their back, because you'll be like, oh, they had a procedure, they had a surgery. You look at their back, it's literally a Band-Aid.
Yeah,
it's not a bandage, there's no staples, there's no incision, there's no blood.
Right.
It's incredible.
This stab wound is literally, I think it's about 5 millimeters long. It's so small that there's no suture, just a Band-Aid is all we put on them. And they can come in on a stretcher from a hospital. And this happens more, occasionally. I wouldn't say all the time. But they come in on a stretch from the hospital and they walk out.
And now, if they're coming from the hospital, I would think that they would receive this procedure at the hospital.
That's a good question. We initially started doing this procedure with only the easier, simpler cases in our office, thinking the hospital had better equipment, better facilities, and expertise in handling a patient like this, an older patient. And then we discovered by doing more complicated patients in our office, we're actually more capable because we have better staff for this procedure. Our assistant, who's participated in 5,000 of these procedures, he's the most anybody in the world by far, because I do the most of anybody in Florida, #1 in the state for volume of these, because we see so many in this area. The demographics are compelling, and people knew about me doing it from before Medicare even applied it. So we really can do more complicated. We do T1 level, which is right below the neck, which is the toughest level to do, and almost nobody does those, but we do them regularly.
Yeah, it's very high up.
2 of them last week at T1 and T2. And people walk out. It's amazing. They come in with how they rate pain on, it's called a VAS pain scale, visual analog scale from 0 to 10, and they come in 8, 9, 10, which is what Medicare requires to do the procedure, by the way. And then they go out, they frequently discharge in probably 20 minutes, 20, 30 minutes after a 10-minute procedure with pains of 0.
It's incredible.
Yeah,
it's
off
incredible.
medication, going home, back to driving. We had one person who owned a deli here in Boca Raton for privacy, I won't tell you, but he went to work that same day.
Sure, sure.
He had a fracture on a plane.
Do you advise that?
No, not really.
Let me ask you a question. Which hospitals are you affiliated here locally in Boca?
I'm affiliated with Boca Raton Regional Hospital, Delray Medical Center, and Bethesda East.
Okay, so Bethesda's a little more north?
Right, just very few cases up there, but mostly Delray and then Boca Raton.
So is that what happens? Is that you'll sometimes get a call from the hospital and say, I have someone with a compression fracture, we're sending them over? Is that how it works?
No, they usually surface there, and then they consult us.
Oh, they discharge them home.
Yeah, they discharge them home.
Oh,
or
if they can walk, I see. Yeah. I'm so used to the patients that get admitted because they end up in the rehab facility. But you're talking about the people that don't get admitted.
Or oftentimes they'll have, like this one case did today, had pneumonia, discharged, didn't see the fracture, went to a nursing home. They identified the fractures. This person not able to move, and then they come in from the assisted living or the facility and come into us by transported to us, and then they go either back to the facility if they still have time or need more rehab, or they may go straight home with an aide or
No, that is
family.
true. I've had that happen where people come in with just a medical case, not an ortho case, and we're trying to get them to, do a couple exercises with their arms or walk, and
Right.
they're in so much pain. It's like, wait a minute.
Or after car accidents. This procedure, though, it's hard to be so overexcited about this procedure because it's so phenomenally successful. Patients, when you can take a patient from going from 10 out of 10 to 0 and walk out, they come in fact, we're kind of known for this, for doing this procedure, myself and Dr. Lowen, in the office, that patients actually come in asking, or they say, their friend had this procedure, can I get that procedure?
Yeah.
And they don't have anything that needs that procedure.
Yeah, you have to
disc or
properly
back
assess
pain.
them.
Yeah, but more often than not, that's the case. They want that procedure, but they don't have the right problem for that procedure.
So, Dr. Fernio, thank you so much for taking the time and breaking down these kind of, frequent conditions that a lot of people just toss around: herniated disc, spinal stenosis, and compression fracture, and breaking them down. What are the couple basic back protection rules that you would advise people with or without injury?
I would say what I see mostly in patients in this age group of Boca Raton is they need to, they want to hear, but get more active, be more active, more flexible, a regular exercise program, a weight loss, just to have less weight. I mean, I have some weights in my office. I show people, look, if you lift up 20 pounds, they can't lift 10 pounds.
Right.
And they're 50 pounds overweight. I mean, what is that like? Every day, every step,
it's too
all
much.
that weight. Yeah. And they're wearing out all the joints. So we advise weight loss and an exercise program, have physical therapy in the office. We have them get into a program. A book I could highly recommend from Mayo Clinic recommends it. It's called 8 Steps to a Pain-Free Back. It's written up in New York Times, and we carry it right in the office, or they can buy it online through Amazon. It's
right.
$25.
Excellent.
It's got great 8 steps, things, how to sit, how to do this. A great book.
Well, if you have back pain and you are looking for some relief, I can personally attest to Dr. Fernio, but you have to make that decision yourself. Having a doctor is a personal decision. And so, have him, assess you if you have some back pain that he may hopefully be able to just minimally evasively resolve in your office. So, Dr. Fernio, thank you again for being here. Tell us your phone number, website, and address to your practice again.
Our address is 1905 Clintmore Road, and it's Florida Back Institute. Started by myself, I think, 1988, with Dr. Davis, 1989. Our website's Florida Back Institute or floridaback.com.
Awesome. The phone number?
561-988-8988.
Yes, it's good if he's not the best, necessarily the best spokesperson. That means you're good at what you do underneath the tools of the surgical tools. Yes.
I guess I could say just 1 second is to say why we got involved in minimally invasive surgery, because it really the thought pattern, the paradigm is there: do less tissue destruction to accomplish the most improvement, and that's what you do with. That's the sort of the global.
Whatever doctor I'm speaking with, whether it be a cardiac surgeon and other type of surgeons, the technology has really helped to reduce recovery times and risk of infection and all those other things. And so it's incredible. And so we're going to be right back in a moment with David Eltringham. He's going to join our conversation, and looking forward to that. We'll be right back with Community Connections.
Hi, I'm Mary Ellen Brinker, founder of the Brinker Education Initiative. We provide Hispanic students in South Florida who excel in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, financial support to achieve their educational goals. They are the youngest and fastest growing demographic in public schools, and 18 out of the 25 top best jobs in America are STEM-based. Give the gift of a college education at brinkereducationinitiative.org or contact us at 773-717-6828. That's 773-717-6828. When they succeed, we succeed. Our nation succeeds.
Are you looking to simplify, focus, and live a healthier, balanced lifestyle? Hi, I'm Jane Robinson, certified health coach and founder of Jane Robinson Creative Living Solutions. I can help you create a personalized, holistic plan through natural living, creative space solutions, and through a system of Nourish and Glow essential oils. I can guide and inspire you to create an authentic life full of vitality and joy. Contact me, Jane Robinson Creative Living Solutions, at 561-305-2317. That's 561-305-2317, or visit me at janelrobinson.com.
Multiple horrifying childhood dental experiences has inspired Dr. Vivian Weich, CEO of Sonrisas Dental Clinic, to become one of the most compassionate dentists in South Florida. So if you're anxious or fearful about going to the dentist, Dr. Weich is the dentist for you. With the latest in technology, Sonrisa specializes in dental, cosmetic, and orthodontic services, including Invisalign, teeth whitening, crowns, veneers, implants, root canals, cleanings, dentures, and fast braces. Call 305-944-0000 or visit sonrisasclinic.com.
Could you be winning by not losing? Do you know that there are safe money strategies that can benefit you when the market goes up, yet protect you when the market goes down? Hi, my name is Sarah Finkelstein with Signature Advisory Group. I'll show you how you can have safety and opportunity on the same dollar at the same time. You know, most people know where to find safety, that's bank CDs, and most people know where to find opportunity, that's the stock market. But did you know that you can have both without putting your money at risk? I urge you to commit to your financial future. Make an appointment with me for a free consultation and get the life that you deserve.
You want to save time and not be in front of the computer, the dark room of the new photo generation. Let Mobile Portrait Pros come to you, offering business portraits, executive portraits, mobile headshots, actor headshots, and campaign headshots for political teams. Innovation at Mobile Portrait Pros serves Palm Beach County and beyond. Just call 866-443-0873. That's 866-443-0873. Headshots, door to door.
Insurance companies, they're very skilled. They have guys just like me on their side who are doing what they do, and they're looking very, very critically at the case. So the best thing that I can tell clients is, you know, really don't focus on the financial component of it, because really that's our job. That's what we do.
I believe we're live. I have my lights back on. Welcome back to Community Connections. I'm your host, Norma Guerrero, and I'm an occupational therapist. And I'm super excited for our next segment of the show. I have David Eltringham. He's a personal injury attorney here locally in Boca Raton with Eltringham Law Group. And I have back, still on set, I have Dr. Jeffrey Fernio with Florida Back Institute, the FBI organization.
Real
Not
FBI.
literally. That's just their hashtag. And so I'm super happy to have these two gentlemen on the show. You're listening to us live at 95.3 FM, 1470 AM, locally here in our South Florida market, as well as we are live streaming on Facebook on Community Connections with Norma G, as well as on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. You can find us and you can reach me on my page at ccnormag.com if you have any questions or anything about that. And so, David Eltringham, your business has been a sponsor of the show, partner of the show, and we've had you on the show now 3 or 4 times.
Yeah,
and
I'm starting to feel like an old hand here. Like
yeah,
maybe,
well,
I'm getting the hang of it.
It's
finally.
great.
Yeah.
We met back in November or so, and you wanted to do a series to really kind of just slowly break down the your practice, your law firm, and we started off with your origins.
Sure.
And that was the first segment. And then actually we met through Toastmasters. That was our first segment where we talked about how that kind of helped you in your communication skills. And then we got involved and we talked about the origins of your practice and what brought you to becoming a lawyer, and then what led you into personal injury law specifically.
Yeah, sort of the road I took.
Yes.
Right.
And then last time you were here, we talked a lot about your why, as to why, what's directed your mantra that inspired to be different.
Sure.
And you're want to help your client resume optimal health, not just their financial payout, but also that their health is super, super important. And in that road of you and I talking on the phone and through the holidays, we came to find out that a mutual party that we know is Dr. Jeffrey Fernio. And so, what a small world, isn't it, sometimes?
Yeah, I mean, Boca is actually a comparatively small town, and it stands to reason that we're going to know a lot of the same people. So I thought it was pretty cool, but especially with this guy.
Yeah, because I already had an outstanding invitation for him, once I realized it. And so once I just kind of sped the ball up, I'm like, let's have you both in at the same time. Sure. And so how do you gentlemen know each other?
Well, let me answer that. I don't know if he remembers, but we met a mutual friend of ours is a doctor who introduced us socially. And I believe if my memory serves me, and this is going back quite a few years, we attended a concert together at the invitation of our mutual friend, and we hit it off. And we just...
What concert?
No, that's a good question. It's really testing me. I've been to so many up there. But this is over at, I guess, what was the Cruzan Amphitheater. I don't know what they're calling it these days.
Yeah, I think it still is.
Yeah, the name keeps changing.
Or the vodka. Something.
Something
vodka.
But in any event, we met socially, having nothing really to do with work. And one of the things I remember thinking, wow, this guy's really cool. He's down to earth. And I come through our personal injury practice, I come into contact with a lot of surgeons and different doctors and other specialties. And I was just really struck by just no ego, no anything. It was just like a cool guy that I literally hung out with.
Sure.
And that's kind of how I got to know him. And then I think really not that long after that, my mom got sick. And I remember I went to a birthday party for one of my brother's kids, and my mom was there, and she was really immobile. And I hadn't seen her probably in a few weeks. And I said, well, Mom, what's wrong? And she's like, well, my legs don't work. I'm like, what do you mean your legs don't work? I mean, it was shocking. And I guess I'll put my mother down in the category of stoic. And she's not a complainer. She's not going to say anything. And for me, I'm not a doctor by any means, but the alarm bells started to go off. And I was like, Mom, did you tell your doctor? And the answer I got back from my mom was, well, maybe. And I was like, okay. And I just happened to have Dr. Ferniau's number because we had just recently met. And I dialed him up and I was explaining the situation. And, I gave him her symptomology. And he's like, she needs surgery now. And that's how we really became, I think, more acquainted. I think
through that process of caring for your mother.
Sure. And what was really amazing, and I don't even know that Dr. Ferniau would remember the specifics of it, but that's my mom. And you want to make the right decision, and he came highly recommended by my friend, and I didn't really know him well, but I said okay, and his reputation in town is excellent, top notch. And I didn't have a lot of time to think about it.
Great.
Because she needed surgery that day. And the answer...
That happened that rapidly?
It did, yeah.
How come it happens? Because I'm thinking she's got, some weak... Or because she couldn't walk.
If you're symptoms, well, not walk... in addition to not walking, she was losing control of her bladder, too, as I remember.
Oh.
She'd been to a center already, and they said, oh, come back, our spine person will be here in several days. I said, oh, she needs to go to the emergency room right now, be admitted, and... surgery today or tomorrow, so we ended up operating the very next day.
Is that what neurogenic bladder means?
Yes.
What is
neurogenic bladder? When you lose the nerve control to the sphincters to control the bladder emptying.
Yeah, so that's a big
That's a warning
sign
sign that you need, but within 24 hours or so, 12 to 24 hours, you need to have that decompressed, or you're likely have permanent.
And so
loss.
you performed that surgery.
We did
for her.
We did a kind of emergency, quick surgery, just to get all the pressure off, and then. It turned out she had other problems later. But she was a lovely lady, retired nurse, and really hardworking.
Wow.
That minimized her problems. You had to kind of pull the.
So he's kind of downplaying it, but I'll kind of upplay it because I'm gonna let everybody know. Really, she was really probably maybe hours or no more than days away from potentially being paralyzed. Wow. And, this was pretty serious. And one of the things for me was. I talked to him probably maybe at lunchtime, and later that evening he was operating on her. And in my opinion, he saved her legs certainly and her ability to walk.
This is a couple years ago now.
This is probably like maybe four years ago. Maybe.
Yeah, about 4 years.
Because I met her briefly over the holiday.
Right.
Yeah, so and I saw her walking and standing and moving around. So
and now there's more of those. As it turns out, my mom, like a lot of our elderly population, she's got a wide range of orthopedic problems because she's had quite a few falls. She has early onset of Parkinson's. And so in one of her falls now, subsequent to this first, I guess we'll call it life-saving or potentially life-saving surgery, She had a fall, and she was badly injured in the fall. Her shoulder was shattered. She needed emergency shoulder surgery. She had that, but she continued to have real problems with her balance and her gait after that, and was really compromised and in just a ton of pain. And then after several months of consultation and consideration with Dr. Frenihow, she ended up having a 4-level, what I would describe as a massive surgery on her neck. And as long as I've been doing this as a personal injury attorney, you don't see that many surgeries involving 4 levels. And certainly my expectation for her recovery was guarded at best.
So you worked on her again?
He did.
We did this multi-level cervical spine fusion through the front of her neck, and to try to get the pressure off the spinal cord so she would improve her balance and her walking, not fall.
That is a question I had, is that sometimes you guys going through an anterior approach or a posterior approach, how do you make that decision?
Well, it depends how many levels are involved. Usually 4 would be too many levels for the front, but with her alignment, we had to try to straighten out the alignment too, so you really kind of have to go from the front for that type of case.
And like I said, I saw her after all that. Even this, I didn't realize there was 2 procedures.
Oh yeah. And,
wow.
And probably, I mean, again, I'm not a doctor, but he'll probably tell you. Certainly, my perception is that the second procedure was a much more complicated and aggressive surgery in terms of really it was a big deal. And I was just hoping that she wouldn't be in pain. Not only is she not in pain, her recovery was incredible. And the best part about all of this is that she's really resumed her, what we call in the business, her activities of daily living. She's had a robust social calendar, I think, certainly the best she's had in years, and she's the belle of the ball. And the thing is, since that surgery, she's stopped falling. And that's huge.
Sure, because she was able to regain the muscle strength back through the therapy.
If you use one fall like that, if you lose balance and fall down, break your hip, it can be a spiral downward to really early death.
Yes, I'm very familiar. Yeah, I'm very familiar. And so, boy, that's a really quite an interesting story. That, like I said, it's such a small world that, that we were able to kind of experience this. And you as a personal injury attorney, you meet a lot of people, obviously, that are injured. And so having this personal experience that you had, that we shared about the last time you were here, related to your wife's medical issues, but that she had for several years, and then also now with your mom, it really does probably transform, how you look at people, and as you get older and wiser, and how you care for your clients.
Well, I heard,
because you have a better appreciation.
I shared with Dr. Fernie, I heard a great quote. I was listening to podcasts. I love podcasts. I can't get enough of them. And it went something to the effect of, a man who has his health has 1,000 dreams. A man who doesn't have his health has but one. And I think that
his health.
If you don't have your health, I say this all the time, all the money in the world doesn't matter. Once that's gone, what does the money do for you? And I think that, one of the things, and we've had over the years since my mom, we've had some of our clients who have received treatment with Dr. Ferniehow, and when your mindset as the attorney is really, what are the best interests of my client, not from a financial standpoint, but from a health standpoint, you got to feel good about someone like Dr. Ferniehow who's taking care of them, because he's operated actually on very few of our clients, a very small percentage. And I think he hit me. What struck me was when I was listening to you guys in the first segment, he was talking about, the vast majority of his patients don't really require surgical intervention. And, and that's out of his population of probably regular health patients. But the interesting thing is that doesn't change for him in a personal injury case. We have very, very few surgeries. And I think the real comfort for us is when we're fortunate enough to have a client who's a patient of Dr. Fernihow's, I can put my head down on the pillow at night because I know that if he says this person needs surgery,
right,
you can take it to the bank. It's not because he's going to get paid or someone else is going to get paid. It's going to be because it's absolutely vital and total medical necessity. And, from a what I do standpoint, that's just the best thing you can ever have.
Well, that's a great, great kind words that he said about you and his personal experience with his family member. And, you know, like when we started the show, I've had that experience, you know, slightly with you as well, with a couple little twinges of pain that I've had as well. So, Dr. Fernio, it has been a pleasure to meet you, you know, as a patient as well as a colleague in the community, as I've cared for many of your patients as well. You know, over at the rehab facility I knew of your name, you know what I mean? And so, you know, it's hard to know, you know, you don't really build a personal relationship with the doctor, you know, you just know the name and stuff. And so it's been really a pleasure, and to hear a personal testimony like that is really great.
Add just one more thing to it while I'm on the Fernie bandwagon.
Yeah.
My relatives, particularly my mom's sister, my aunt, I think she's watching and listening to this, and she wanted to meet him. She's like, who is he? I want to meet that guy. She's heard so much about him. So I think she's not getting to meet him directly, but certainly on Facebook Live here and on your show.
Hi.
Yeah, there you go. Say hi, Aunt Linda.
Hi, Aunt Linda.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. And so you know, we can take a commercial break if you want real quick, or we can just continue on, however you like to do it.
It's your show.
You know, yeah. I think I'm going to take a quick commercial right now. And, you know, you can stay on set, Dr. Fernio, if you like. You know, we can see what you guys decide. But we're going to be right back. We're going to continue to talk to David Eltringham. And so I want to go ahead and thank Encore Boca Raton as well as the other sponsors of our show. You can go to ccnormag.com to find out more about them. And what a great time to listen to the two of you share that story. Thank you so much, gentlemen.
Wonderful.
Yes, we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Mary Ellen Brinker, founder of the Brinker Education Initiative. We provide Hispanic students in South Florida who excel in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, financial support to achieve their educational goals. They are the youngest and fastest growing demographic in public schools, and 18 out of the 25 top best jobs in America are STEM-based. Give the gift of a college education at brinkereducationinitiative.org or contact us at 773-717-6828. That's 773-717-6828. When they succeed, we succeed. Our nation succeeds.
Are you looking to simplify, focus, and live a healthier, balanced lifestyle? Hi, I'm Jane Robinson, certified health coach and founder of Jane Robinson Creative Living Solutions. I can help you create a personalized, holistic plan through natural living, creative space solutions, and through a system of Nourish and Glow essential oils. I can guide and inspire you to create an authentic life full of vitality and joy. Contact me, Jane Robinson, Creative Living Solutions, at 561-305-2317. That's 561-305-2317. Or visit me at janelrobinson.com.
Multiple horrifying childhood dental experiences has inspired Dr. Vivian Weich, CEO of Sonrisas Dental Clinic, to become one of the most compassionate dentists in South Florida. So if you're anxious or fearful about going to the dentist, Dr. Weich is the dentist for you. With the latest in technology, Sonrisas specializes in dental, cosmetic, and orthodontic services, including Invisalign, teeth whitening, crowns, veneers, implants, root canals, cleanings, dentures, and fast braces. Call 305-944-0000 or visit sonrisasclinic.com.
Could you be winning by not losing? Do you know that there are safe money strategies that can benefit you when the market goes up, yet protect you when the market goes down? Hi, my name is Sarah Finkelstein with Signature Advisory Group. I'll show you how you can have safety and opportunity on the same dollar at the same time. You know, most people know where to find safety, that's bank CDs, and most people know where to find opportunity, that's the stock market. But did you know that you can have both without putting your money at risk? I urge you to commit to your financial future. Make an appointment with me for a free consultation and get the life that you deserve.
You want to save time and not be in front of the computer, the dark room of the new photo generation. Let Mobile Portrait Pros come to you, offering business portraits, executive portraits, mobile headshots, actor headshots, and campaign headshots for political teams. Innovation at Mobile Portrait Pros serves Palm Beach County and beyond. Just call 866-443-0873. That's 866-443-0873. Headshots door to door.
Insurance companies, they're very skilled. They have guys just like me on their side who are doing what they do, and they're looking very, very critically at the case. So the best thing that I can tell clients is, really don't focus on the financial component of it, because really that's our job. That's what we do.
To join me, Norma G, and our guests to find out about what's hot, what's new, and what's happening in our community. Can't wait to see you there. Now let's rejoin the show.
In terms of where we're going to be supporting a nonprofit.
Excellent. Welcome back to the show, Community Connections. I'm your host, Norma Guerrero, and you are once again listening to us on 95.3 FM, 1470 AM, as well as on your iHeartRadio app at 1470 AM WNN. And you can find us live streaming on Facebook at Community Connections with Norma G. And so Dr. Fernio left us, and so now I'm here with David Eltringham. And we are going to be talking a little bit about, he's a personal injury attorney, as I mentioned before, here locally in Boca Raton, over at 233 South Federal Highway, Suite 105 in Boca Raton, Florida, 33432. And his website is Eltringham, or ELT?
ELTlaw.com.
ELTlaw.com. Okay, I must have an old old card here.
Card, yeah.
Yes, ELT.com, and they can be reached at 561-338-0420. That's right?
Correct, that's right.
Great. And now you talked about when we met that you were going to have a new campaign called ELT Gives.
ELG Gives.
ELG.
So it's Eltringham Longer, right?
Okay.
And then so it's ELG Gives.
My bad.
No, it's
ELG.
okay.
It's so yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's ELG Gives.
Right.
Got
correct.
it. Got it. And so tell me a little bit about what you have on your heart is how you want to give back to the community.
Yeah. I think for me, over the last few years, as our practice has grown, and certainly we're doing better, and things have really surpassed my best expectations, quite frankly. And I think about why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to my firm? Why are we doing well? And I could look inward and say, oh well, we're great lawyers, or we're this or that. And I think part of it is the team that I have in place. And I don't want to take any credit away from them. They do an amazing job, and they're really dedicated. They're hardworking and totally committed to our cause. But more than anything, I think it's the community. It's the Boca Raton community, and it's the people in our community who you consistently refer their friends and their family members to us. And I think for me, I was like, well, how do I say thank you?
And so, what have you kind of been able to narrow the focus down?
Yeah.
To what?
And what I realize is that over the years, I've certainly supported been involved with different charities and other groups, and I thought I wanted to do something really more concrete and make a commitment. And what I decided to do was that as of January 1st, 2018, and for really the rest of my life as a practicing lawyer, and while this firm exists.
You have me on my toes wondering what it is.
Well, we're going to be donating a percentage of our attorney's fees from every single case that we settle. And what we've done is we've identified some really important causes that are near and dear to my heart. And we're going to be working with a major nonprofit that we're presently in talks with, and we're kind of in the, I guess, what I would call the final stages of those talks. And my expectation is that I'm going to be able to tell you who that partner is really soon.
Okay.
But they're in our community, and the one criteria for me is I wanted to find an organization that I could support that I know is completely serving the interests of the Boca Raton community in the greater area, and really committed to making sure all of our dollars go to support that mission. And what we're working on is two programs. One is an anti-bullying initiative, and we're going to be through this program. We're going to be going into the schools, 65 schools or so in the Palm Beach County area, where we're going to have our coach that they're going to be teaching about anti-bullying, both to the teachers, the faculty, and the students, and really getting the word out, because honestly, cyberbullying has become so pervasive. And,
what's the second one, David?
Well, this is the one that, you know, I guess it's the thing that scares me the most. I have a 2.5-year-old daughter, and she just loves the water. And she has no idea how dangerous the water is. She doesn't understand it. It's the ultimate attraction for her.
Oh, for drowning?
For drowning. And what I came to learn is that my fear of you know, some type of water incident is really well taken, because actually accidental drownings are the #1 cause of children death in the United States. And by the way, Florida leads the nation. So not a fun,
I imagine it does.
Right, not a great statistic for us.
Those are excellent causes. They're amazing causes. I think they're very appropriate, and I'm glad you'll be able to tangibly be able to see the difference here and locally. And so we're going to have David back on again a couple times in February as well as in March. And so maybe by then you'll have a little more information.
Yeah,
maybe
I think we're going to be able to share.
Maybe we'll bring them on, you know, and share about their cause on the show.
And I think we're going to be able to share the name of this mystery partner.
Absolutely.
It's all the legal stuff, you know.
Thank you again for being with us, David. You can reach out to them at eltlaw.com.
Correct.
That's right. And I want to thank Encore Boca Raton at www.theencore@boca.com, formerly known as Whitehall Boca Raton. And reach out to them if you are in need of any rehabilitation and nursing services. Thank you, and we'll see you again next week. Have a great week, everyone.
Life is turned upside down. I mean, it's a devastating thing. Nobody plans on having an accident. I often remark that, you know, most of my clients were perfectly fine the day before they got into the accident. And these accidents, they can be life-changing. And I think actually, in our experience, that to some degree or another, almost all of these accidents, even the little fender benders, they tend to be life-changing, because different stuff happens to the client that they've never, ever experienced before. They're thrust into a world that they don't know, that they don't understand, that is completely foreign and is completely upside down to everything that they held to be true. When you talk to me, I'm real. And I believe in this stuff. I believe in my clients. I believe in this. This is my cause. This is my life's mission. This is my passion.
To share about what's hot, what's new, and what's happening in our community. Did you hear something you liked today on our show? Please contact me, Norma G, at 954-802-2015, or email me at ccnormag@gmail.com. I look forward to helping you expand your business, project, or idea and connect with our community.